Hello, good afternoon. Pressure is mounting at hospitals across the Midlands, with accident and emergency staff struggling to cope with growing numbers of patients. The ambulance service says there were more than 500 hours of delays outside hospitals yesterday as crews waited to deliver patients. Today, across our region, Dudley, Stoke-on-Trent and Walsall are on the highest level of alert. In Worcester, the situation is improving, but problems persist. Well, our health correspondent, Michele Paduano, is there for us now. Michele, just tell us more about the situation in Worcester.
Well, yesterday afternoon there were 30 people on the corridor and there were 50 4-hour waits. I understand that's a bit better today. That's down to 23 people on the corridor. There have been concerns raised about 3 deaths. A patient who cardiac arrested after 35 hours on the corridor, another patient who had an aneurysm who was taken into the resuscitation area but sadly died, and a patient who sadly hanged themselves on a ward. But it has to be stressed at this point, there is nothing to connect those specifically with the winter pressures. What we can say, though, is that they are now using 2 corridors, including one which has panic buttons on for people to call doctors if necessary.
And what's the picture like elsewhere?
The situation seems worse in Stoke-on-Trent, where they seem to have had a really big spike. They've opened up extra areas, including training areas, to try and cope with that. In Walsall, they've apparently turned ambulances down in terms of taking people into the department. One doctor told me that the wheels are actually coming off the bus, so to speak. In Birmingham, they say if this cold weather continues, it could get worse.
Obviously, when we've had more patients in hospital who've sick and needed treatment, they often may stay in hospital for a longer period. So I would expect that this will have an effect over the next few weeks, particularly if we go into another round of cold weather.
And going back to Worcester, what has it had to say about its current problems?
Well, it apologises for the long waits. It says it can't actually say anything about the deaths at this stage because of patient confidentiality. It's clearly asking people to use minor injuries units if they possibly can, and says it's doing its best to treat the most seriously ill patients first.
Okay, thank you.